Namah Shri Shankarananda. I salute to my master, the author is saying, Sri Shankaranand, whose name is Shankaranand, where Guru Padam Bhujanmani, at the lotus feet of the master, a recognition that my existing knowledge put me into delusion. Hence, I am dropping that. Why the Savilas Mahamoha, the great delusion with all its manifestations, Grahagrasaika Karmani, whose sole function? Sole function of the teacher is to remove the delusion. There is no personal attachment or inclination. So if you look and remember and repeat every day without fail, within few weeks you will find you can remove obstacles from your life. Especially it clears seen and unseen hurdles. It invokes blessings. It purifies the mind and the environment outside. It cultivates the humility and a gratitude, and it sets a clear spiritual intention. That is the role of Mangala Charan. You can open your eyes, it can enhance your focus, deeper engagement in anything in your life, in daily life. It reduces the obstacles. Sometimes internal challenges are more than outer challenges. It increases your receptivity, and we say that it is a sense of sacredness. I have not gone deeper into explaining the cause and effect relationship. We will do it in due course. So we are talking about this text which says only understanding is required. You understand provided you are not sleepy and lazy. But if you are sleepy and lazy even after understanding, you will say, yes, I have understood. Meditation gives you an experience of infinite dark space and you are lazy. So in that laziness, tamoguna, the mind says yes. It is the space of tamoguna. It is not the space of satoguna. It will not work. Last Thursday, the Ashok asked me a question that should I do it loudly or should I do it mentally? And I asked him that you have to do it loudly, as loud as possible. Do you know the cause and effect? Just to give a reference. So there are three gunas, tamoguna, rajoguna, satoguna. You cannot jump from tamoguna to satoguna. So you have to move from tamoguna to rajoguna. Means if you are extremely lazy, you fall into sleep, you feel extremely tired, you have to move to rajoguna. And recitation or chanting of the mantra, doing loudly, is a rajoguna activity. Only rajoguna can destroy tamoguna, and then you can leave the rajoguna and you can move to satoguna. Satoguna means that it's appointed knowledge. But then there is a problem. What is the problem? The near and dear ones always have seen your behavior and attitude. You get irritated and reactive. And now you are chanting the mantra, Sarvesham Swastir Bhavatu, and your honey says, leave your Shanti to yourself. Do it mentally. Don't disturb me. Because you have been disturbing other souls because of your own problem. Understand very subtle nature of the Eastern wisdom. There the master says you have to introduce karma yoga before you can do the any chanting of the mantra. So what it means, what do you mean by karma yoga? What is my duty? I have to do it. So I look at my home, starting from my home, near and dear ones. What is my duty with reference to them? Let me perform my duty, and then I am easy. I am ready to sit for meditation and mantra chant. This is how it works. I told you that entire Eastern wisdom is all about cause and effect relationship. If we really understand, then we get a secret and instantly we change. You are lazy and chanting the mantra Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. And I am explaining you that peace is like the space, infinite space. So you instantly feel that space, but that space is made up of tamoguna. So you say, yes, teacher, you are right. It will not work. It will not work. How do I know? I know myself. I did it and it did not work. So each and every, it has a very logical order. And that is what I told you. I give a simple example. Sum of angles of a triangle is 180 degree. Do you know it? Yes, you know it. You prove it and show me how and why it is 180 degree. We are real self of the nature of, now pay attention, I'm coming to the main topic. I am of the nature of pure consciousness or real self or Satchidanand, different names, or absolute existence, consciousness, bliss. Do you agree? Yes, I agree. Prove it. So this is the journey we have undertaken during the last few weeks. We are almost coming to prove it. How we started. If you recall and remember, we studied 3 levels and the 3 worlds. 3 levels: physical, subtle and causal level. 3 worlds: individual level, supreme consciousness, universal level, and universal level is the word, and transcendental level is the, what we say, the God. You can say God, man, nature, God. Nature is, or the external world, we refer to it. Or you can say individual consciousness, universal consciousness, transcendental consciousness. They're different names. So three world, the world of individuality, the world of universe, and the macro universe, micro universe, and transcendental universe. And at the same time, we want a correlation between the 3 levels: the physical, subtle, and the causal. I'm just summarizing, but in summarizing, I'm bringing in some new smaller topics. So first thing, we understand that everything is pure consciousness. That pure consciousness is absolute existence, consciousness, and bliss. I discussed many a times. Waves to an ocean. It is an ocean, but why and how it has become the wave at the individual level, and how all the waves are understood at the material level, or universal level, or macro level. Micro, individual; macro, universal. Fundamental basis is transcendental level. How we defined it? We defined Ishwar is equal to consciousness plus Maya or Satoguna. Individual, we define consciousness or Satchidanand. That remains untouched. Satchidanand or pure consciousness plus Raju and Tamoguna. Material world, we define consciousness plus Tamoguna, or you can say Satchidanand. So that Satchidanand remains unaffected. It does not change at all. Science has a lot of confusion about the efficient cause, the material cause and the efficient cause. What is the birth of what is the material cause of my birth? My parents. What is the efficient cause? It is, we say, it is consciousness. It is. But science says it is after all, DNA is also matter. You show me something behind that matter. When it is a matter, then it has come from the material world. So, like, the pot maker is the efficient cause, and the pot is the material, clay is the material cause. We are going a little deeper. Who put the consciousness into the womb, into the zygote, into the fertilization of egg in the semen? That is the moot question. Who put the consciousness there? So that is the efficient cause. Like the pot maker is the efficient cause, and clay is the material cause. So clay, this matter, carbohydrate, protein, etc., is the material cause. It is found in the matter. And in fact, the semen is also a protein molecule. Egg is also. So you see, consciousness, independent, untouched, pure, it's a matter of permanent happiness, love, truth, and wisdom. Now, plus Satoguna, Ishwar, plus Raju and Tamoguna, individual, plus Tamoguna, dominantly material world. From where the three gunas have come? We are answering. It is Prakriti. What is Prakriti? What is Prakriti? It is a manifestation in the presence of the consciousness. Is your eye clear? Do you see me? Yes, I see you. But projection in the mind see me differently. The way last time I told you, I started communicating with the Michelle, I became the Michael, and I felt as if the Michelle is in front of me in the computer. Projection. We all have projection. Mind does not take so now another problem, another issue comes, we are solving. Where is the Ishwar in the individual? If you say consciousness is everywhere, it is in the matter, it is in the individual, it is in the Ishwar. So there must be consciousness plus satoguna must be present in the matter. Yes, it is present in the matter. It is because of tamoguna it is not able to manifest. That is why we don't see the life in that. But we can see the inherent nature that cannot be changed. I told you consciousness is independent, it cannot be changed. No, it is all pervading, it cannot be changed. And why it cannot be changed? Why it cannot? That is what the essential nature, that is where we can find the truth. So not the gold, but the goldness cannot be changed. Kindness. So that goldness is the consciousness plus the tamoguna. It resulted into the gold. Tamoguna in permutation and combination. We are solving that we are the real self. We are understanding that real self is absolute existence, consciousness, and bliss. So we have taken the Prakriti. Now, no, yes, we have to answer, where is Ishwar in the individual? Ishwar is the innermost self in the individual. The way goldness in the gold is the existence, consciousness, and bliss. Same way that innermost self. What is the innermost self? We say beyond the Raju and the Tamoguna, beyond the individuality. Innermost self is all pervading. There we can take control of the three gunas. You will never feel sleepy and lazy. No worries. I know you are not sleeping. So yes. I know it. No worries. Don't worry about it that you are sleeping. So Tamoguna also gives you a sense of peace and happiness. We mistake it. Now, where is the Ishwar in the individual? The moment I think, speak, and act in a limited way, in ignorance, in projection, I am an individual. But if the same mind moves purely into the Satoguna, especially it happens in meditation, I experience that state of spaciousness you all have shared. Can I live into that state all the time? Answer is yes. For that we have to continue the journey. One woman who does a group session, baby boomer, 70 years old, beautiful. You see how I'm putting a logic to understand it. That how should I get rid of the tamoguna activities, the rajoguna activity. Rajoguna means reaction, blame, complaint, a constant, consistent desire. So there I have to follow the karma yoga, and for tamoguna I have to follow some active practices. So after the meditation session, she told me, just 3 days ago I reacted to my friend, and then for the last 2 days I was totally disturbed. I entered into blame complaint game. At least, it went into her head. 70 years old. And now I can see, when I started witnessing those thoughts, I realize it is Raju and Tamoguna activity. It should not have been done. I said, how long? I feel very relaxed and calm. I said, how long? Then I asked if you are not offended because you are 70 years old, you are 2, 3 years older than me, you have more experience, deeper experience than me. Can I ask you a question? She said, yes. I said, how many times your mind reacted, entered into anxiety, blame, and complaining in the last 70 years of your life? Maybe 10,000 times, smaller figure. Did you not learn from it that there is no benefit of it? Are you appreciating me that you practice my meditation and that is why you are relaxed? We don't want to learn. Why? Because of Tamoguna. Tamoguna opposes the knowledge. Tamoguna contains the big ego. How dare you say this, and I will teach you a lesson, and you start blaming and then you suffer yourself. You cannot tell me the 3 benefits of being into anxiety and reaction. Do you see the individual and the innermost self? Innermost self is as it is. There is no change. But you cannot step into that unless you move from tamoguna to rajoguna to satoguna. Good? Understand? Cause and effect. We are just talking of purely science. Purely science. So that you should not be lost into these terms. So Prakriti as 3 gunas. Maya is a dynamic aspect of the Prakriti. Avidya is the ignorance, is Rajo and Tamo guna dominant. When Rajo and Tamo guna is dominant in the Prakriti, it is known as ignorance. What we say if you remove the ignorance, you can awaken to the real self. So there is a hidden principle also. Complementary angles. We say complementary angles. What is hidden? They are equal and opposite. Something like this. I forget that geometry. Prakriti is the 3 gunas. Dynamic aspect is the Maya, which is Satoguna. Maya is Satoguna dominant. Satoguna dominant is Ishwar. Raju and Tamoguna dominant is individual, guided by the he is an individual. And if it is dominant by the Tamoguna, take 3 colors before the sunlight. Sun remains the same, sun does not change. Sun reflected in a clean, still water. It is Maya, pure Sattva. Sun reflected in rippling muddy water, Raju and Tamoguna. We have to understand and learn these languages. And ignorance is the individualized expression of Maya. There is some mixture of Satoguna also. That is why I recognize. When I recognize that, I react, I blame, I complain. So then what happens? The play of the Maya, Ishwar, continues. We continue to live in ignorance. We continue to suffer. We repeat the mistake. We don't want to understand. Why we don't want to understand? Because I have a big ego. I know how wrong you are. I did not make you upset. You made yourself upset. Go ahead, continue. Can Prakriti or Maya or Avidya separate from the pure consciousness? We have to answer that. So when we answer that clearly, then we get a clarity. The short answer is no. You have heard me saying that husband in this over this body is false. For the false appears to exist, there must be some truth. The false cannot exist without truth. So there is the truth of this human being. It is a male body. So over it, superimposition of the false, the husband is there. Go little further, the human being, it is only the physical body. This is the effect now. What is the cause is the subtle. And subtle is the effect, causal is the cause. And the causal body cannot exist without consciousness, so the ultimate cause is consciousness. So what? We are of the nature of consciousness. One answer. At least maybe 15 masters have written a commentary on this principle, this statement, differently, at different ages. Buddha is one. So you see the Prakriti and the Supreme Consciousness, Prakriti or the pure consciousness. So it is an apparent duality. As such, the duality is not there. Apparent, it appears. Your husband, yes. Your man, yes. It is an apparent duality. It is not real. That is the role of the three gunas. Three gunas are not visible, but we can see the impact. Prakriti appears distinct from the consciousness as the field of expression, versus the knower. After all, someone who knows. I reacted. Rajuntamaguna. Oh, that is different from the knower, the seer. That seer is known as the witness consciousness. That one name of that witness consciousness is vipassana. We say vipassana meditation. No, it vipassana. Vipassana, spatial knowing. When, here and now. Like gold and the gold jewelries. The form is the Prakriti, is never separate from the substance that is gold. Gold cannot be separate from the ring, from the golden necklace. So that golden necklace is the Prakriti. Can it exist without the gold? Answer is no. Three bodies. Without consciousness? I told you before also, without consciousness, if someone dies, we say body has come. When some live person knocks the door, we say, oh, you have come. Do you see? We say that. We say it, but we don't pick up the meaning. So Maya in that consciousness, functional distinction. Maya appears as a veiling and projecting power that creates the appearance of multiplicity, that creates the distinction. If you have been listening and reflecting on the previous lessons, today's lesson is just another expression of the summary of the same. But you can enjoy a deep sleep. while listening to me also. Because in deep sleep also you experience nothing. In meditation we also experience nothingness. Right. So functional distinction is there. Maya has no existence independent of the consciousness. It is the capacity of the consciousness to appear as many. That is why we say delusion is neither real nor unreal. Now we are concluding this aspect. What we say? That delusion is neither real nor unreal. It is in between it, and that is the problem. We live in them. You see, the mirage water appears real but not real. Appears as a husband, but as such a husband is not there, neither in the body nor in the mind, nor at the cause of that. Where is the husband? Can you show me? Little deeper, but very interesting. If you get interested into this, how the life looks so beautiful wherever you are, with whom you are. So that is the relationship. Now come to ignorance in the consciousness. What is the experiential separation? Ignorance creates the experience of separation from the consciousness. What did I say? I am ignorant of my real self. It creates the experience of separation from the consciousness. Then what happens? I am one consciousness, you are second consciousness, he is third consciousness. So there are many consciousnesses. But we say it is the only one sun reflected in 10 buckets of water. Water is mind, bucket is physical level, water is a subtle level, and then there is a causal level. So you see, it is only one consciousness. It is only one consciousness. So we reach to the same point, consciousness plus satoguna, consciousness plus rajoguna, consciousness plus tamoguna. We reach to the same level. To reach to that, we have to be a seeker. And seeker has to check behavior and attitude expressed in tamoguna. He has to move to rajoguna. From rajoguna, one has to move to satoguna. But rajoguna means my personal, professional, social life. I have to create a balance that no one living near me do not disturb me. They disturb me because of me. You don't understand me. You don't have a honey like me who always disturbs me. Some people told me. And especially it happens in India. You don't understand. For enjoyment, she is the best honey, or he is the best honey. Otherwise, so you see, there comes the rule of. That is what the gunas I don't see. In fact, I see. I see you from the standpoint of a physical entity. I am in ignorance from the standpoint of the causal level. No, subtle level. So my mind is at the Rajo and Tamo guna. But when I perceive you at the Sato guna level, kindness, compassion, love, truth, and wisdom, I am very near to the real self. So we are not talking of these kindness and helping others is a moral and ethical values. We say it is very practical. Then one you already know there is a tantra tradition. So tantra tradition makes you totally your it gives you an amazing explanation. Power of speech and the possessor of that power cannot be separated. Did you understand what I'm saying? Power, there should be beholder of the power, otherwise you cannot see that power. The speaker, the possessor of that power. So that power is nothing but Prakriti, Maya, three gunas. Possessor is the consciousness. That is why we have different paths. Oh, you want to follow this? Follow this. I come to the session and I don't say anything. You don't understand. Without power, there is no manifestation. The power of speech should manifest. What I know and how do I know? The same power can manifest in anger. Same power can manifest in crime. Sato Rajo Tamo Guna. Look at it. It's a tantric perspective. So that is why we have tantric perspective. If you have seen the Shiva, the right half is the Shiva, left half is the Shakti. Shakti means, in a common language we say it is wife. Masculine, feminine. The masculine is represented as pure consciousness, feminine its power. Now, with that understanding, you look at the wave in the ocean. Waves are relative. They rise and they fall. Three bodies, they rise and they fall. It is temporary formation of the ocean itself. Can I say that? This Girish, this Jerry, this Dennis, this David is a temporary formation of the same consciousness. And what is temporary has to go. What is real has to stay. I am of the nature of pure consciousness. I proved sum of three angles of a triangle is 180 degrees. Roughly. There are many other issues that we will answer, but just to make you aware. So this Prakriti is not manifest directly. It is unmanifest and invisible to both my senses and the mind. But I can see the effect. We understand its presence only through inference. Inference is one of the very strong tool in modern science to explain especially the theoretical physics and quantum physics. Inference, conclusion. We conclude in our mind. That is what we are doing. As we see the smoke and we know there is a fire, we see the universe, we know there is a cause, and that cause is Prakriti. I'm putting everything logically today. Look at it, Prakriti. So I see, oh, effect, it is an effect. I'm not looking at the cause. So what happens? My mind withdraws within. It is not attached to the shape and the form and the color. That is why we say, as long as you have an attachment, you cannot get it. So what is the method of knowing? Effect to the cause, from seen to the unseen, from creation to its invisible source, and we reach to the one invisible source of anything and everything. Last point. How is individual? Is Ishwar is the God. First I have to follow the process of negation. Why? What to negate? Superimposition. What is the superimposition? The body. Second superimposition, mind. Third is ego. Fourth is intellect. Then ignorance. We have removed it? Okay. Imagine you have removed it. Second step, understanding the three states of the consciousness. We have already understood waking, dream, and the deep sleep. Did you understand? Now we understand, we recognize what is existence, what is a consciousness, what is bliss. I reach there. I continue to live into that state. When I say I see you, is it Jiva? It is an individual. I see you. The nature of perception through an individual consciousness. Why? Individual consciousness. Why? My eyes is superimposed by Rajo and the Tamoguna, the duality and the multiplicity I see. Otherwise, behind, oneness is still present, gold is still present. When you say I see you, this seemingly simple statement reveals a profound interplay of the three gunas as an individual consciousness. What is actually happening? There I will stop. Pay attention. What is happening? I say I see you. So there is a seeing, there is an I, there is you. So this I is the perceiver, identifying as a separate entity. Why? Because of Raju and Tamoguna. An act of seeing, it is perceptual process. You, the perceived object. So, when I say I see you, I have already separated you from me, as if the reflected sun in one bucket had separated the reflected sun in another bucket. I don't see the sun is reflecting in the same way. This is what happens. This is what the superimposition is. And this is what we need to remove it. So I just summarized it. Now can we share our Ashok has written so many things. Yes, we will talk about it. Dennis, can you talk something about it?
Yes, what I got from today's session is what we call false is not completely false. It is not unreal as long as it is experienced. Because it is experienced, it has to contain some truth in it. And if it was completely false, then it would never have been experienced in the first place.
Beautiful.
So I think what happens is the absolute consciousness that is manifested as eyes and the mind looks at the absolute consciousness that is manifested as the world. And eyes and the mind have limited perception and can perceive only one aspect of the absolute consciousness. And that aspect appears as the world to our eyes and the mind. But fundamentally, it is absolute consciousness.
It is absolute.
Yes, and it reminds me of a story of several blind people approaching the elephant from different size. One
It is from
touches the
Upanishad.
trunk and says that the elephant is like a trunk, and the other one touches the legs and says the elephant is like a pillar, and then they start fighting, convincing one another that the elephant is looks like this, but in reality they see only a part of the truth. But at the same time, we have to understand that their perception is not completely false, because indeed a part of the elephant looks like a trunk, but it is only a part. And when the elephant is seen as a whole, then we have the whole picture, and that wholeness is possible only when the limitations of the sensual perception and the perception of the mind is removed. So when the direct perception is possible. So the duality as such is not unreal. The duality exists as long as this limited perception exists. But when the reality is perceived without limitations, then there is no duality. But again, it is at the same time it exists and it doesn't exist, because it exists when limited perception is there, and it doesn't exist when the direct perception happens. And this is, I think, what you explained a few sessions back about simultaneous perception, because as long as the sense organs and the mind and the body are alive, the consciousness going through these sense organs and the mind will perceive the world only partially, only at from a certain angle, from a certain aspect. And when through the knowledge we understand that this perception is incomplete, then at least by inference we know that there is a bigger picture. Maybe we do not experience it yet, but at least by inference we understand that it may be perceived in a different way, in a more comprehensive way.
Beautifully said. I did not remember, and that metaphor of elephants, known by the 5 or 6 blind people, they pick up one part of the elephant, so they had a limited perception. So that blindness represents our ignorance, and ignorance is nothing but the superimposition. Superimposition has 2 parts, the projection power and the veiling power. So because of that veiling power and power of projection, I see the world as different at a distance from me. So that is where the knower and the known comes into play. And one thing is very important. When I say my master appears in all the names in the forms where I am giving a lesson, that is one approach of a simultaneous perception. Have you ever noticed that? That is one example of a simultaneous perception. So the waves, yes, it is water in appearance, and the water is water. Last point, you, Dennis, rightly said, by inference. So what I want to say, my master used to say, even he was illiterate totally. He ran away from the house at the age of 13 and 14. He hardly had uh, any formal school education. Then, but he always used to say that here are the 5, 6 different steps on which the science is based, minus the practice of meditation. Meditation brings you a direct perception and a direct realization. But our goal is the direct perception without any agency. As long as there is an agency, means any of these sense organs, it should be a limited perception. So that is why in meditation we say close your eyes, means symbolic. Shut up all your senses. But mind is not educated like this. So by understanding these simple principles and concepts, mind is educated, and once it is educated, we go into that state of meditation and we realize that there is nothing but absolute reality is the absolute existence, consciousness, and bliss. But there are many questions we need to answer so that he will come up with. So, yes, anyone, David and Jerry, you want to say?
Thank you. And Dennis, thank you as always for your summary of the lesson. It's always appreciated. For me, the consciousness is the more we can seek out consciousness, the more we realize how powerful conscious is, the more we can use it as a tool to discern and realize the false and get towards that consciousness. So it's like an avalanche, it builds and builds. And so looking for lots of experiences of consciousness to increase my conscious world, if that makes sense.
Beautiful. Yes. Yes. You see, there are 10 buckets of water. I gave an example. The sun reflects on each bucket of water, but the water is different. Water is clear, water is muddy, so the reflected sun appears different. It does not mean the sun is different. Accordingly, I exist as a separate existence. But where the problem comes, say for example, I like this white color. It is in by default. So anything white I perceive, I say, oh, this remote is beautiful. Why? Because the past impression is there. So why the past impression? There must be some inclination and attachment. That is why we say to become a seeker, we have to follow, we should have a clear understanding of where we are going. Then we should, means that what is the goal of life is one and same for everyone. What is the goal of life? Seeking peace, happiness, love, truth, and wisdom. What are the goals in life? Goals in life is based on your vasanas, past impressions. It may be a particular career or a relationship, etc. Long list. And then, but if I get attached, if I like everything white, it means I have a limited perception. So it means when I am attached, I always have a limited perception. And when I am attached, so that attachment must go. But why? It is an attachment on the name and the form. It is an attachment on the maya, on the delusion. As such, there is no attachment. So we explain it in form of, this is just a delusion. Why you are attached? Oh, I'm attached to that cute and beautiful girl. So I told him so many things. One thing more I told him. I said, are you really attached? Yes, I'm really attached. I said, take her photograph and I want you to fix your eyes for at least 15 minutes. Your eyes should not be able to perceive any other object. Not possible. I said you are not attached. You see, our master goes opposite also. How can you say you are attached? So we go both ways to drop that limitation, to drop that superimposition. And when you drop that superimposition, what is left is independent, it is all pervading, it is one consciousness. I will continue. From next week, we'll definitely practice meditation. Yes, Jerry.
I'll be quick. I think for me, the lesson boils down to that faith and desire that's required to set the value. And then because we're asked to know something that we don't see, but we want to know it, and we have to really want to know it to make this work in our lives, to get rid of suffering, to get rid of the identification, to empty the container, and then to see it clearly when we don't really see it through the senses, but we know it. The mind knows it.
Yeah. You're right. So that is going to be our next topic. This master takes on that you are attached. How you are attached? What is the very process? I saw her or him, whatever it is. I saw him and her, and I see the attraction. Where do you feel the attraction? I feel the attraction in my mind. So, what is the permutation and combination of these three gunas by which these sense and motor organs were manifest? That we are going to talk next. This master is not going to leave us until we reach to that point logically that we are pure consciousness. How are you, Brandy? There is
I'm good, thank you.
So there is. Yeah. Go ahead.
No, what were you gonna say?
Now, I wanted to say that then there is no love in the world, there is no attachment, there is nothing in the world, yes, including you. That is why you are pure consciousness. No, now you share your experience.
I guess I never thought about the gunas as being three sides of a triangle. And when you're explaining that kind of in combination with how you can't go from tamaguna to sattva directly, I had like this image of the recycle symbol, with the arrows that move sort of like a triangle.
Oh, yes.
And that we're always in this process of trying to get away from the delusion into the balance, but the delusion's sort of a thread of the process. I don't know. I'm still kind of thinking about that. It just the image kind of came to me.
Yes.
Yeah, but today, like a good Saturday session today, had a lot of things to think about and reflect.
Yes, we have to listen to it again and again. And once your mind starts working with that sequential steps of the knowledge, you see there is nothing in the world. Oh, everything is in the form of a delusion. I have to work with this in that deluded, apparent reality. Instead of saying delusion, you can say it is an apparent reality. When we work with that apparent reality, we are not attached. When you say it is a reality, who claims? Mind. How it claims? By Rajoguna. What the Rajoguna does? Rajoguna is seeking happiness. From where it is seeking happiness? It is seeking happiness in the world outside. What is the world outside? In the name and the form. It may be a car, it may be a cute and beautiful girl, it may be a Mr. Universe, or anyone. I'm seeking, what? And then I recognize name and the form is just a manifestation. I just give label to it. So what happens? The burden of your desire, I am going to do this, I'm going to marry, I will have $10 million, I'll buy the home, all are shattered. all are shattered. Your mind is already calm now. The mind is in the state of the calmness. But does it mean that we should not marry or we should not? That is a different thing. That is totally different. We are going to resolve that. So it means we will stop living into the world. That is a different thing. Hold on. Don't start creating your ideas. You have to follow the journey of the Eastern wisdom. We live almost in the same way externally. We don't live the same way internally. Internally, full of that peace and happiness, love, truth, and wisdom. But when it outside, it manifests according to the level of the manifestation. Terry, you want to say something?
I guess when we can normally we don't face the delusion until somebody passes away, and then it becomes immediately clear that like you said, the body is there. Like my friend Cindy that you met a long time ago, she passed away, and her nurse called me and said, okay, she's gone. I'm sitting here with the body,
Yes.
and so then we ask ourselves, where has she gone? And that's a question that we're answering, I think. But I on the macro level, I was wondering about these concepts, because if they're concepts, who holds them on the macro level? Who's holding the I was asking myself, are these ideas?
Yes, yes.
Or facts? What are they? But I at that point, I just don't know what to say.
What Eastern wisdom is saying, at the micro level, we have physical, subtle, and causal. Same way, at the universal macro level, we also have the physical of name and the form. Behind it, there is a subtle level, cosmic mind, and then we also have at the causal level. So the same comparison is there at the micro level, at the physical, at the universe also sleeps. So we will understand that how the universe sleeps. The universe also dreams. How the universal dreams. I was listening to the NPR radio station yesterday when I was driving. Normally, I always listen NPR or KJGG in Arizona. They are both together. So it says, Dennis, if I'm not mistaken, that lithium undergoes a transformation in a rock over 1 million years and converts into lead. And the lead is directly or indirectly present in our body in many forms. So it takes millions of years for a change, for a transformation to take place. and beyond that, even the uranium. So when the uranium becomes harmless, it converts into other elements. What it means, that very apparent reality for which we are attached, we have a fancy, we seek the pleasure, it is not there. I have to recognize this. The moment you recognize, your mind has a direct realization, I am already happy and I am already calm. Last example, I believe you will pick up. How dare you do this thing? This is my Rajoguna and Tamoguna behavior, right? If I don't express it, I'm already in Satoguna. I'm already in Satoguna. But however, masters have to explain it in the form of a behavior and attitude. No, this behavior is not good. You should not be excited. This is Rajoguna. This is Tamoguna. It breeds the conflict. It causes lot of challenges in the society at the personal level. Otherwise, for a higher seeker, yes, you are right. I am calm before Rajoguna acted as an anger. Satoguna is by default. So start the journey by default. We'll pick up all those, we will talk about sense organ, what is the constitution of these sense organ with reference to the three gunas. There's more to come beyond the triangle brandy. Wow, which percentage of the Satoguna helps me to perceive? There is a Satoguna perception. I can see you through Satoguna into my eyes, through Rajoguna into my eyes, through Tamoguna into my eyes. Eyes are the same. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Namaste, everyone.
Namaste.
Namaste.